Hey guys, welcome to Isaiah's Reviews, and today it's kind of a special day. We have the MOZA Mini Me review. Now the cool thing about this is the world's first 3-axis gimbal for your cell phone that will wirelessly charge your phone. Why hasn't anyone else figured this out? Like I said, you do get the wireless charging, you get intelligent control, and that's on the wheel. We'll get into that. You get inception mode, which is pretty cool. I'll show you an example of that later. You get a built-in camera app that comes with it. I'll go ahead and tell you now, it doesn't really work for Android, so you're kind of going to have to use your own camera app. I would say that app that comes with it is kind of garbage at the moment, but the interface till you get to the camera app is fantastic, one of the best on the market. So if they can nail the actual camera app down, but the home menu, like we'll get into that, where you update and calibrate and all that stuff, flawless. Connects with your phone instantly right away, the best in the business on that end. Camera app sucks. Tracking doesn't work because the camera app doesn't work for your Android phone. And you also get live streaming mode, which is the phone up and down mode, you know, that's Instagram TV or whatever is going to make this popular. I still like my landscape mode. I don't like the portrait kind of up and down mode. I don't like that. And inside the box, you get a really nice case, an actual case. Now, in comparison to the Smooth 4 case, it's better because it zips. It's roughly the same size, but it actually zips. It looks like it has some tabs here where you can have like a shoulder mount strap. It doesn't come with that, but you can put one on if you got an extra shoulder strap. It does zip to secure it, unlike the Smooth 4, and we'll do a little comparison of the Zhiyun Smooth 4 at the end after I cover all the bases with this. The price, of course, this is a lot cheaper. It sits at $109. I should have a coupon code to get you a few bucks off the price, which makes it the cheapest currently on the market. So that's down in the YouTube description. What you get a little box which houses the little tripod. It's plastic, little rubber feet on there. Once it opens up, we'll cover that in a little bit, but it does the trick. It's not the nicest in the world, but it'll get you through. You do get the manual and stuff like that, and a charging cable, a nice flat one too, and it is micro USB. So here is the beauty itself, and the wireless charging is built into here. So whenever you put your phone, I'll leave all the specs down in the description for phone size and parameters and everything that'll take of this, so that'll be down there. It does not come completely closed like this because you do have the knob, the adjustment knob there for balancing once you get your phone in there. You do have a lot of accessories, places to mount accessories. It's like 4 1/4-inch threads on here, which is crazy. You get one top and bottom of each of the little cradles for your phone. You get one across the front there and one on the bottom. So a lot of options available. And there's a little Luma Cube or Lutri Cube. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll leave a link to it down below. But you can thread the light right onto this, and it's only going to stick out about 1.5 inches. So you'd have 1.5 inches coming off the handle, and that's it for light as an option. It's really hard to get a wired mic into a phone and still keep your balance without putting too much strain on the motor. So at this point, we don't have a wireless microphone that can just Bluetooth in. That would be another option too, to have like something you could screw in, battery rechargeable Bluetooth microphone, wireless, and still be in sync with the mouth. So hopefully that'll come at some point in my life. The charging port is right here on the back side. You do get a 10-hour battery life, so sharing that battery with your phone's not too terrible, because say you get 5 hours of gimbal life, that's a long time because you're not like constantly running around for 5 hours straight. So you may, if you're charging your phone while you're using the gimbal, you might have to charge the gimbal once every 2 days or something like that if you're like on vacation and using it. So that's really good. It'll take you 3.5 hours to charge that too, so keep that in mind. Just to go over some written comparisons between the Smooth 4 and the MOZA Mini Me. The price difference is $30 difference. the Smooth 4 being $30 more. The payload is different. You get 7.4 ounces versus 10.6 ounces. So you can get more combinations of mounting. Wireless charging, of course, is yes. You get more app functions, but the camera app is not working. Not on my LG V30. It's not a thing, but if it did work for you, so if you have an iPhone or like a Samsung, I think it works for those. But you get sport gear mode, which is the quick move mode. We'll go over that. Inception mode, which is nice. Smooth 4 could only achieve single object tracking, and this one can do like 4. You do get the manual focus and zoom. You just spin the dial on it. We'll cover that. Customize RGB settings, assisted composition, frame selection, vertigo mode, microphone sampling rate and audio sampling, so you can see it there on the screen. Supports live streaming to YouTube and Facebook and more. 8 follow modes, while Smooth 4 has 4. You do get 2 amps of output to your phone through the wireless charging. We're going to screw in this, which adds, it gives you what is this, about 4 or 5 inches, 5 inches or so extra hand grip there. And I will say, from the bottom up to the top is where we're going to focus on. The ergonomics of this pancake design there, see how it pancakes out, really fits into the hand really well. And then this little 1/4 inch thread right there kind of acts as a thumb guard or finger guard, so it keeps it from sliding. It is slick, so you may want to do your own thing for a hand grip or something like that. Wrap this in something or whatever you want to do. But it is slick, but it feels great. Now for a guy, I think this is perfect. The larger hand size, the medium to large. Small hands may have a little difficult time with it, maybe, but I don't think so. It just fits nice, and ergonomics of it is good. Okay, so this will open the stand wheel on the bottom, so it'll give you some feet. It's pretty sturdy. It'll do the job for some calibration stuff and maybe balancing your phone. Also using it to steady the thing, setting it down while you use the joystick. And this is another point that the Smooth 4 doesn't have, is a joystick. So I'm not gonna dog Smooth 4. There's some stuff on the Smooth 4 side, but we'll get to more side-by-side comparisons at the end. But the reason why I'm comparing that is it's just the new thing. These two are new things, so we're going to compare those. You do get the power button over here on the side, which is multifunctional, double tap for things to do, and single tap. You almost need a list for the things that you can do with this thing, but there's the rotary dial, which you can zoom in and do different things with it. And some of the parts of the app work, kind of like the zooming and stuff, but you're not going to be able to film over 1080p at the moment. It's really glitchy, buggy. It's just terrible. It doesn't even match the home screen, which we'll get to later, of course. And then here is the dial, like I said. You can click left, right, up, down, and all that. The joystick is nice because not only can you go left, right, up, and down, but you can go at angles and stuff like that too, which is a plus. You get notifications, lights that, I think there's 4 lights that'll light up, top, bottom, left, right, top, bottom on each, to let you know different modes that you're in. And then let's put the phone in now. All right, to install the phone is just like any other gimbal. You can put it on either side, the left or right of you. I'm right-handed, so looking down the barrel, I'm gonna put the camera on the left side, slide it in, push it all the way up against the stops. That should work, but you may have to move it away from the end of it here because the wireless charging. Once you get it in there and balanced as best as you possibly can, it doesn't balance as well as I would like it, and I think it has a lot to do with the wireless charger back here in the back, putting too much weight back here. But gimbals should, once it's completely balanced, you should be able to take it and set it in any position and it just stays without it being on. That's a perfect balance. It causes less wear on the motors and all that good stuff. You get longer lifespan out of the thing, and plus in some situations you may have jerky movement because of the weight issues and the strain on one motor or two or whatever else. It can transfer into the video by not being balanced correctly. So you do get this off balance, and it's impossible. You can't get it to where it's supposed to be. Like setting it like this, you let it go, it's going to go back to the plane that you balance it into instead of sticking and staying, and so does this little pitch. It's gonna You just got to get it the best you can get it. That's a downside, the Smooth 4, no matter where you can balance it perfectly. And this may be why gimbal manufacturers have not implemented wireless charging. All right, so now we're going to go into the MOZA Genie application, and then it's super quick. So it's asking me to turn it on now. So we're going to turn it on by holding the power button down. And you always, with gimbals, you never know whenever they're going to go nuts. It may never happen, it may happen to you a couple times, but I always try to keep my hand here. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to break the screen on your phone when the thing starts flapping around. And I had this flap around during the calibration because I was trying to hold it steady. Now we'll go over like what you're supposed to do through the calibration here in a second, but just always be ready for the unexpected because these things will bust your screens on your phone. Connection is super fast. You just push it, boom, connected. That's a beautiful thing. You can click the screen again, click the gimbal itself, and go into some of these settings here. And here you have the calibrate. And so you just go through and it'll have you like line it up like so. And whenever it's saying this, give it a little room to move. Like it may want to move a little bit while it calibrates. It may go click, 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 click on something. Let it do that. Don't restrict it because it won't calibrate correctly and you cut it on and it'll just freaking start spinning because you disrupted that calibration process. You'll figure it out, but just be ready for it. It's hard to explain. The E angle, you set it down. Okay, when you set it down, kind of you want that where it has it underlined firmly on the ground and flat. You want that piece flat on the ground. But the rest may move a little bit, like where the housing for the phone may be, it may twitch. Allow it to do that through every step of the process. You go through each one of these, and some of these have multiple calibration points under each category across the top. Like I said, let it do its thing. You get your battery feedback here, you can recenter, you've got settings. One thing I'd like in the settings menu is the ability to fine tune and go -1, -2, or whatever. Like once you calibrate it, I have a problem where it's tilted slight, the pitch is slightly up, just a hair. But you notice it when you go into the camera app itself, it has an auto level indicator thing there on it. It's out of place just a touch, and even through calibration, I can't get that. So I just have to, even when I recenter, when I'm using the gimbal, I just have to tap down on the joystick to get it to come back down to a level position. It'd be nice to be able to go into the settings and to offset your calibration a little bit. That way, if you have that problem, you can just go -1 or whatever, and it'll go down like that, automatically offset from calibration. And you can put the thing to sleep just like that through the app. So everything works great. You can hit, boom, comes right back out of sleep, goes back to 0. Very nice. So go into the camera app itself, and then there you see the camera. Yeah, you can zoom with the wheel. All that stuff is great, but you're so limited on what you can do right now. The cool thing is they've got it set up great if the app would work, and they just need to redo the camera app altogether and make it match the home screen, because the home screen is so futuristic looking, so snappy and quick. Then you pull into the camera section, it's kind of like last generation. You can touch up on the wheel itself. You can go into settings across the right side, and this is where things are supposed to be, you know, really cool things. So let's go into the shooting mode. You can pick camera, video, or time lapse. We'll go into the video mode. You also got a little short list here of things. You can swap between camera and video. You can click that one to go into your gallery. And then that one switches the camera to forward facing. So you can do that by touch, but really most everything relies on this wheel. And here's the auto level. You can see, let me put it back at 0. All right, there's back at 0, and you can see that the auto level in the middle, which is for the pitch, is kind of out of whack. So I'd bump it down and back, it's right on the hairy edge there. There's kind of your straight on for the most part. So to turn on the wireless charging, you just double tap the power button. 2 quick taps, ping, and then we're charging wirelessly. That's cool, right? Yes, it is. Just double tap the power again to get it out of that. And then like on the app, my phone can do 4K 30 frames per second, but my max is 1080p 30 frames per second, which is kind of goofy, and 720p at 30 frames per second. And then we have 480 at 30 frames per second. So you're limited on that, and that reason is why you really have to use your own phone. And plus the tracking and stuff like that doesn't work, which is a key point. I wish gimbal manufacturers that are going to provide their own camera app make it work on the past 2 years of phones. All phones for like the past 2 years that have been released should work with your gimbal upon release. Why are you restricting yourself from possible sales by not allowing or only allowing your phone to work with the most current iPhone or a lot of the iPhones, and then picking Samsung or picking one other Android, and then that's it? That's completely silly. As a manufacturer, you should release a product and it be available for, I would say, the last 2 years of phones. That's kind of all you can do on here. So now we're going to get to all these different modes and buttons and kind of what they do. You've got the wheel, and you do have a record button there in the middle. You can take a photo, you can record whatever mode on the app. You can double click on the right, and then now you're in this sport mode, which is super fast. And I can hear the motors. Hear that? And that little sporty mode there? Really going to town, right? Because it can't be balanced, and whenever sometimes I stop, I feel a little vibration like that. And that's because the phone's not perfectly balanced on the gimbal, so it's putting too much weight real quick on one of the motors, and so it kind of does this number. And that's why you want, see there, it just shook a lot. I don't know if you can hear that. But my fear is you'd be in sport mode, put too much strain on the motor, it's either going to go to sleep automatically or go freaky nuts. So just be ready for where it goes freaky nuts to put your hand over this so it doesn't crack your screen. If it even happens. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if. So coming out of sports mode, just double tap on the right. Now you're back in normal mode where it kind of locks the pitch in, and you can kind of go around like a normal gimbal. And you do have your joystick, which is lovely. Having a joystick. I love joysticks because you can stand still and get these cinematic looks. And in the settings, you can adjust the speeds of this joystick too, so don't think this is the speed you get. Double click down to recenter. Double click to the left and it will lock in the location, like lock in straight ahead. So you can turn this, and you can turn this 360 degrees, which you can't do on the Smooth 4 or the Osmo 2, I think. Every gimbal should be 360. It's such a joy. All right, double click left to get out of that. Double click down to recenter. Down click 3 times to turn it around to you. That's the power of the 360 degrees. And double click to recenter. 1, 2, 3. It's coming around to me. That's nice. 1, 2. Recenter, but it kept spinning around 360 degrees. It's beautiful. All gimbals, 360 degrees. 3 times up is inception mode. You can take your joystick, it's going to point up, and you can get this beautiful twisting shot. Like if you're on the city streets or the buildings around you. Or you could tilt it down, it's going to go down with you in the flashlight mode, and you can get this going through a hallway. Like creepy spinning. You can do different things with it. It's a beautiful feature. Inception is something I like. It can be a good transition shot. You could up the speed of it. You can adjust the speed of the inception. It's great. 3 clicks up, goes back forward facing. 2 clicks down, recenter. All right, you do 3 clicks to the left. 1, 2, 3. And it puts it in your camera into follow. So wherever you go, your camera's gonna follow. Up, down, doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3 to the left. Get you right back out of that mode and you're locked in forward, but it will turn with you. 2 down to reset. And I think I got all the modes down. I hope I don't miss any, but you're almost going to need a piece of paper taped to this to remember. But really, I've had it a week and been using it a week, and it doesn't take long to get used to it. Overall, it's been a real joy to use, especially for the price, the wireless charging, the joystick on it, being able to control everything through different, you get used to it through different clicks and things like that. If they could get the app down so tracking would work. I do like being able to just turn this for focus and zoom. That's cool, because you're kind of getting all the features of the Smooth 4 into a cheaper bundle. From instead of $139, you're kind of getting it for $109. The only thing that I don't like, well, there's two things I don't like. The calibration process, if it's not done perfectly, correctly, this thing will spin like crazy with your phone, and you run the risk of cracking your screen up against this guy here. That's dangerous. It should be worked out to where if it's not correctly calibrated, it's not going to spin around like nuts. It's going to go automatic sleep mode, which sleep mode, you just press once, it goes right into sleep, so you can just push it again and bring it back to life. The second thing I don't like is it can never be perfectly mounted onto this device to where it's just free floating on it by itself. You're always going to torquing some of the motors or putting too much stress on one or the other motor on here. And I don't like that for longevity. I'm a little worried about that. Some of your footage might get that little jerk in it, especially in sport mode. The other modes, I don't think you're going to get anything. I don't feel it vibrate. It's only whenever it goes into this sport does it sometimes gyrate because it's too much stress on one of the motors. But other than that, it's really good. And I want to show you on the Smooth 4 what I'm talking about. I'll go ahead and power this completely off by holding the power button down. And you see right quick, like that. And then this. That's as good as you're going to get it. So let me show you on the Smooth 4 just so you can see what perfect mounting looks like. Okay, so this is the Zhiyun Smooth 4. It's completely off. See, it doesn't have 360. It stops. I hate that. But balancing, boom. No matter where I place it, it's going to stay. Left or right, the pitch, no matter where I put it, it's going to stay. That's perfect balancing. So there's no stress on these motors. It's just kind of keeping it like you can almost, it'll almost stay kind of without it being on wherever you place it. And that's another thing too on the other one, the MOZA, you can physically move with your hand while it's on and put it in any position you want with your hand and it'll stay. And down click twice, you know, to recenter. I do like the joysticks, the buttons on the back coupled with individual buttons instead of just a wheel. I do like that on the Smooth 4. I'm not a fan of this wheel at all on the Smooth 4. But really those are the only advantages of this. Is the longevity. I think this will last longer down the road for the motors because of the balancing than the other one, but the other one's cheaper. So how much do you use it? How long do you keep it? Me, I normally go through gimbals every couple years or so it doesn't matter to me. I don't think the motor life should last as much as I would use it on the other one. That's just me, and I do this kind of a lot, so I'm saying it's kind of okay, so it's probably going to be okay. Take into account their warranty and use that if there's an issue with MOZA, so you have that protection there. Overall, I like the MOZA. It's not too bad at all, especially for the price. It's cheap, so you can't really complain. And make sure to utilize that coupon code I got down in the description. So make sure to explode on that subscribe button and ding that dong so you get notified on the next electronic gadget that I get that might save you a buck or two. See ya. another thing this will do is go in and out of portrait mode. Go to landscape to portrait, pretty easy. I forgot to cover this, but I'm going to show you through the eyes of the camera. You just move the gimbal left to right like you're going to bump the phone with it, and it automatically switches right in to it. Boom. And boom. Left to right. Nice and fluid motion, right in and out of portrait mode. Very easy, works great. I do like that, even though I'm not a big portrait mode person. I can be now on IGTV or Instagram TV. Look at me.